On today's show, the boys are back. The Mavericks fall to the Clippers. Kristaps Porzingis played well. Can they continue that when Luka Doncic comes back?
And in the infamous words of Derek Harper, the Mavericks miss Luka Doncic.
That, and also we got to talk about everybody's favorite former Maverick.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
Dirk Nowitzki always will be a Maverick. He's going to get his jersey retired. We'll talk about what the ceremony will look like, all that kind of stuff coming up on today's Locked On Mavs.
Luka Doncic, and this is Locked On Mavericks podcast.
Dallas Mavericks are NBA champions. Bang! Bang! It's good!
And the Mavericks have won the game!
If you don't believe, you shouldn't be here.
And welcome. You're locked on to the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member and coordinator for the Locked On Podcast Network. And joining me, as always, my co-host, contributor at Mavs.com, the Dirk Nowitzki Norse God, the One More Thing King. What you got for me, Isaac Harris?
All right, well, I love Dirk. We'll get to Dirk. I have a story right off the top. It's not even really a story. So you guys know that we just moved into new house. And my question,
Isaac, not me and him, but Isaac.
Do you want to move? My question for you is, what's the worst thing that your new neighbor could tell you?
Oh my gosh. Well, I've told my story about our neighbor in Florida, right? I've told that story.
Okay, that's true. That's true.
He collected war artifacts, and he said, I have many Adolf artifacts, and he didn't say the last name, just said the first name. That was an interesting experience.
So I say this because I'm like, I can't tell if my neighbor is playing a prank on me or not, just to like freak me out. I just met him, and the dude knocked on our door and said, "Hey, just letting you know, we tried to kill a copperhead snake, but it went into your backyard. Just wanted you to know." So now what do I do?
Yeah, your backyard's unusable for like a month.
Now we're just gonna like live in fear forever. And I'm like, dude, that is one of the worst things a new neighbor can tell you.
At least he told you, though. Would you rather not have told you?
But what if he made it up? What if he's just sitting on his couch like, I got them.
Hey, honey, watch this. I'm going to make this new neighbor go nuts because I'm going to tell him a poisonous snake is in the backyard when he has two small kids and a dog.
Exactly. So anyway, that's just been on my mind today. I'm like, what is the worst thing a new neighbor could tell you?
So you think your neighbor is so twisted to the point where he would make that story up?
I don't know. I'm not ruling out anything because I don't know them. So I mean, I guess he could have said, "Hey, I just got out of jail for killing somebody," and that would have freaked me out.
Yeah, I'm on parole. Comes over and shows you the ankle monitor. Thanks for making Locked On Mavs your first listen every single day. Remember, Locked On Mavs is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube. You can subscribe and watch us on YouTube. Killing it on YouTube right now. I appreciate everybody that's jumped on, people that have found the show. If you're watching the show on YouTube for the first time, hit the subscribe button and the like button. Leave a comment. Comment what weird thing your neighbors have said to you the first time you moved in. Apartments, houses, wherever.
And I want to say this. If you're listening if you started listening to this podcast over the past few months, I want you to do something for me. Go to Apple, leave us a 5-star review, but leave a question in there. And we're going to start trying to answer some questions. We did this a while back last year. I'm going to bring it back right now. Leave a 5-star, only 5-star. If you leave a 4-star review and then you question, I'm not going to answer that question.
Nothing.
But if you leave 5 stars and you put a question there, we'll start trying to answer some of those on the pod.
Yeah, we'll answer one a day on there when we see them. And so we will answer those on the podcast. Every single one of them will be answered at some point on the podcast. But yeah, Apple Podcasts, leave 5-star. All right. Dallas Mavericks fall to the Los Angeles Clippers in the first game of the 2-game series. Mavericks lose 91-97. Luka Doncic still out in this game. Maxi Kleber, his first game back in 9 games. So great to see Maxi back. Excited to see the lineups with another competent player. It was very much a relieving feeling. But man, the Mavericks, they had a chance in this one. They controlled the game for pretty much the whole first half. And then the second half, the Clippers really took over. Paul George got hot in the third quarter. And then with 2 minutes left, the Mavericks were within 3. They were only down 3. So this is like, this comes in.
How were they only?
How were they? I know it was such a wild game that the Mavericks shot 20% from 3. They weren't like dominating from free throw, right? They only made 4 more free throws than the Clippers. But somehow they were in this game and within 3 in the last 5 minutes or so. The big takeaway for me, though, there were times in this game when the Mavericks needed another creator just in such bad ways, right? Like the Mavericks offense was bad in this game in general, but Kidd played lineups where the offensive initiators were only Burke and Tim Hardaway Jr., who Tim Hardaway Jr. maybe had his worst game of the season shooting when the Mavericks needed him. But without Porzingis, without Jalen Brunson, and then sometimes even without Tim Hardaway too, it was just Burke and like Sterling Brown and Reggie Bullock. The Mavericks just need one other guy to create a shot. Just one other guy.
Yeah, so when they started this 4-game stretch, without Luka, one, it was the 5-game stretch that some people said that, could define the season. But
who would say
Luka goes down, and then it's these 4 games, 2 against Phoenix, 2 against the Clippers, all 4 on the road. And we were kind of like, hey, how would we adjust your expectations if Luka's out for all 4? And I'm pretty sure I said, hey, I just want them to be in the games. I just don't want blowouts. I don't want 20 pointers. Like,
you stand by it. They've been in all these games, 2 leads in the fourth quarter against the Suns, and then now they were within 3 in the last 2 minutes of this Clippers game. You still
exactly.
stand by it?
I don't stand by it, but because now I'm like, this sucks. Because now I just get my hopes up. I'm like, we could steal a game, and then we don't. But no, I mean, if we go back, if we want to be somewhat positive about it, like they've at least been in these games.
Yeah.
But today the offense struggled so much. It was the first time all season I've been throwing the stat out there, so far this season, like, hey, if they hold an opponent under 100 points, it guarantees them a win, basically. They only did it 13 times last year. This year, every single time that they have done it so far, they've won the game. Today, they held the Clippers to 97 points, and they lost. So first time in that. You said it right. It's just a secondary creator thing. And it's like I love Jalen Brunson, but as a consistent, like, number one type of creator in that starting lineup, it feels like he's kind of in a different weight class in a boxing match if he's going to be in that role a lot.
Well, and obviously without Luka, Jalen Brunson's the only one. So then when Brunson's off the court, then who else is out there creating anything, right? Trey Burke is in there hitting some shots, but Trey Burke is like, I mean, Brunson used to be shot first, and he would not pass enough. Burke is another level of, I'm just going to look for my shot and look for my shot and look for my shot. And just
he's looking for a shot?
Just basically waste the entire possession without, trying to find a shot, basically. But I thought it just stood out a lot. The lineups without Brunson and Kristaps Porzingis. In the second half, Kidd adjusted a little bit and put KP with Burke for a stretch there, for like a couple minute stretch. But it still just didn't. I mean, it just didn't work in there. Tim Hardaway Jr. had 5 assists, and so I think some people will be like, "Well, what about Tim Hardaway Jr.? He racked up some assists in this game." I went back and looked at all of them. 2 of them were in transition. One of them was that great pass to KP, but it was in transition. Another one was a transition pass to Maxey. And then the other 3 assists he got were swing passes. He's not creating stuff, right? Like, he's not driving and kicking. He's not like creating space and then making stuff happen. Like, it was just sort of like happenstance. He got some of those assists in a way. So, like, he's not the answer to this, especially when he's shooting the way that he did in this game.
Yeah, and you said your main takeaway was their need for a secondary creator. I think despite the loss, I still think the biggest takeaway for me is Porzingis is looking much better. And if you're looking for the silver lining of this without Luke and all of this, is you look at KP tonight. He had 25 points and he didn't hit a 3-pointer. So it shows me that, like, he, especially in that fourth quarter there, he had some tough shots in the paint, some fadeaways. He's looking more confident, more comfortable. And, you have a lot of different, you were tweeting out, and we were talking about before about how he's getting position and stuff. I'm sure we'll talk about it in the second segment, but I just thought KP is looking more confident right now, and he's playing pretty dang good basketball right now without Luka.
That is absolutely a big thing we need to get into on this game. Quickly, we'll talk about with KP, is that KP had the hardest time against the Clippers in the playoffs, just getting position. And so that's why he got relegated to just standing in the corner. We talk about, it was Carlisle's fault. Carlisle just stuck him in the corner. There's a reason. Carlisle didn't just do it because he hated him, right? Like, he didn't just throw him in the corner against the Clippers in the playoffs because he didn't like KP or KP had a bad attitude. It wasn't even anything like that. It was because he wasn't effective. KP has been much more effective in the post so far this year on certain games and certain nights. And this was one of them. We started to see it. And there was some moments in the game where KP would get good position and they went to him down the stretch against some of these wings that he struggled against. Terrence Mann, Paul George, he scored on against a couple times. And there's one thing I think that they changed that I think will really help KP going forward. I'm not sure if this was coaching or KP or whatever, but they changed one thing, and I really want to get into that. So we'll talk about that coming up. But before we do, let me tell you about Prize Picks. Prize Picks is NBA daily fantasy prop game. It's the best one out there. They offer more NBA props than any other daily fantasy prop operator and offers all the superstar players as well as the bench players. You can get props on anything NBA.
Isaiah Stewart.
You can get props on how many stitches. No, I'm just kidding. You can get props on anything right now. Let's see. Monday night, the Nets versus the Cavs. Kevin Durant, over under 29.5 points. I can put that on my list over here, and then I can go, okay, well, let's go get Darius Garland over under 18.5 points. I think KD's going off in this game. I think Darius Garland's going to struggle in this game. So I'm going to go the over under on that. Let me just put something simple. $25 on it. I could win $50 if both of those things hit on Prize Picks right now. You can do all kinds of stuff with it. You can add NFL as well as NBA. You can also do tennis, soccer, women's college basketball, all kinds of things that you can do. You can do fantasy points. You can do points, rebounds, lots of things you can do on Prize Picks. Use the promo code NBA and they will match your deposit up to $100. Promo code NBA. Again, go to prizepicks.com, download the app, promo code NBA. Also, when I tell you about one of the few ways that you can watch the Dallas Mavericks this year that I have subscribed to, that I know a lot of you have and hopefully got the Mark Cuban deal, Direct TV Stream. It brings all your live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before, so you can watch your favorite sports, movies, and TV shows all in one place, including the Dallas Mavericks. That means no more juggling remotes, no need to buy another device ever again. And the best part, there is no annual contract for you. So get rid of the clutter and the confusion and get your TV together with Direct TV Stream. You can learn more at directtv.com. That's directtv.com. Compatible device required. Content varies by package. All right, Isaac Harris. Let's get into this game a little bit more. We're talking about the Mavericks versus the Clippers, the brunch game. Clippers struggled in the brunch game again. Clippers do not like those afternoon games because I don't think the Clippers played particularly well in this game either, even though they came away with the win. But Kristaps Porzingis in this game, we mentioned he played pretty well. 25 points, 8 boards, 10 of 18 from the field. He missed all 4 of his threes, which means he went 10 of 14 from 2-point range. And a lot of these are these post-ups, different moves that he's doing in the post, and they've been working pretty well. He also went 5 of 6 from the free throw line, which is positive for him. And one of the things that they changed about what Kristaps Porzingis is doing, a lot of times before, we would see Kristaps Porzingis running down the court, moseying down the court, and then he starts the possession about 20 feet from the basket or around the 3-point line even. And then they'll be like, all right, Kristaps, go post somebody. Go post Terrence Mann. Go post. You have a mismatch on you. Go post like Patrick Beverly or somebody like against the Clippers last year. And he would just try and back them down from there, from like 15 to 20 feet. And it just doesn't work because KP isn't strong enough, can't get position. It was the one thing he really struggled with. And this game, I saw him start from the corners and start from the baseline and start the possession in those areas to where they're like, all right, we're going to try a quick pick and roll, pick and pop with Maxey and Brunson at the top of the key. And then if that doesn't work, all right, KP, quick flash into the paint and around your defender. And then boom, you have position. He's already down there. Like he's already in the position in the area that he needs to be. And so he can get the ball and do his little moves. He had like 2 hook shots in this game I thought were great too. One of them over Paul George even. So it's that move. It's where he starts the possession, I think, that's changing it. That changed the way that KP can get post position on some of these guys.
Yeah, I think the Mavs coaching staff deserves some credit for that because, we've pointed out a lot, especially with teams when they run some smaller guys against him, they kind of just get physical with him. And sometimes he kind of, leans away from trying to really get physical down low and try to, establish that position. So if you can be kind of sneaky and kind of backdoor into that position, and if a player doesn't, or the defender doesn't even know you're trying to get position, if you're just like, oh, you're trying to go baseline or go for the rebound or something, all of a sudden, no, you're actually going for a post-up position, kind of catches them off guard. So hats off to the Mavs for, adding a little wrinkle to that.
And they went to him late. I mean, they've been trying this, and hats off to them if they're just trying to make this work for KP so they can have something else to go to late in games at times, right? Like I think they may just be trying this out to say, all right, we have something else besides Luka just creating anything. Because they went to KP a lot. 2 minutes and 50 seconds. They went to KP on the post and he scored. 1 minute and 40 seconds. KP to the post and he missed that one. And then they went again to him. They went again to him later. There's Yeah, there's 4 or 5 times they went to him late in the post in the fourth quarter, and he scored on more of them than he didn't. And a couple that he missed was like, they were really tough baskets because then the Mavericks couldn't get the lead back and all that kind of stuff. But they trusted him and went to him late, unlike the game on Friday night, which a lot of people were like, give KP the ball, get him more touches. They did that in this game. Just wasn't enough. I mean, there's other reasons why the Mavs lost this game besides that, but they had a chance.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's what I was saying is like the positive kind of from this is it does feel like okay, Luka's out, KP's the best player type thing. And it's like, all right, well, now we got to get some, some help around him, like help KP out type. That's the way you want to feel for your $30 million max, player that's your second star. Is you want to feel that whenever Luka's out, it's like, all right, well, let's come together, help KP out. And that's how we felt over these past few games. I mean, that Friday night game was like, dang, let's get more shots for KP, only getting 13 and 1 in the fourth there. But yeah, I thought in the fourth he played great. And then it came down to that Brunson play that was kind of controversial. It's kind of weird that, what a swing of not only did it not count, but it was like, hey, it's going to go against you and you're going to lose the ball too. That was wild.
That was an absolutely incredible swing. If you did not watch the game, let me just run through it real quick. 52 seconds left. Jalen Brunson's running down the floor. He drives. He gets an and one against Terrence Mann, where he's going up for the ball. He scores, and they call a foul on Terrence Mann. That's the call on the floor, is a foul on Terrence Mann. He ran up to Brunson, and he flung his head back a little bit. It was funny because we were all like, oh, and one, let's go. And I saw a Locked On Clippers tweet. Terrence Mann gets elbowed in the face, and of course they call one on Jalen Brunson. I'm like, it's so funny when like two fan bases can see the same thing and think totally different things. It happens all the time in sports. I think it's hilarious. But Brunson gets called for the and one. Ty Lue challenges it. It was a big call. The Mavericks were down 94-89, so they were down by 5 points. If Brunson gets the free throw on this one, then all of a sudden it's a 2-point game with less than a minute to go, and the Mavericks are going to get the ball back, most likely. And so that would have been a massive thing. They end up overturning it. They called it an offensive foul, so the basket doesn't count, and he doesn't get to go to the free throw line. It was a huge swing down the stretch there. Then they go back down the court. Reggie Jackson hits that crazy circus shot, and the game was sealed at that point.
Yeah, I kind of think they made the right call, but when they
Brunson did make contact, but that's a hard one because it's not like he elbowed him and pushed his elbow out. He went up for a shot, like a layup attempt, and put his arms up, and it's almost like when KP does the move with his arms from left to right with the ball, and the elbow hits somebody in the face. You're like, he's just making an offensive move. So I don't know. That's a tough one, but yeah.
My whole thing with it is I wish it would have just been a no call. But I just know deep down in my heart that if that was reversed and that was Luka or Brunson or somebody getting hit in the face, I'd been throwing a fit.
Dorian getting hit.
I would have been throwing a fit. I mean, like, no, that's offensive foul. They can't do that and all that. So I try to stay consistent with that.
Yeah, we probably would have been upset with it if he got hit in the face, but it seemed like Terrence Mann caused the contact. But if anything, it should have been a block. he was in the circle. He slid over. There's all the elements of a block, but it is what it is. The Mavericks didn't get that call, and it was a big swing. But I think the swing happened earlier, the one that actually lost the Mavericks the game. 1 minute and 40 seconds left. The Mavericks are down by 3, 90-87. KP gets a post-up on Amir Coffey, and he misses the shot. He had made a couple in a row, and so he's starting to feel it. He had been pretty good in the post. He misses that shot. Paul George gets the rebound, goes coast to coast, and gets a dunk. KP just jogged back. It didn't help. And then the Clippers were going small at that point. No Zubats on the floor, no Serge Ibaka on the floor, and so they were going 5 out. And everybody went to the perimeter, and Paul George was like, okay, everybody's going to go to the perimeter. I'm just going to drive in the paint, and he dunked, and then that's what made it a 5-point game right there. And that was the biggest swing I thought that actually lost the game for the Mavericks. They had a chance a little bit later than that, but that was the big one that I think sealed the fate for the Mavericks.
Yeah, I mean, they had the best player on the floor tonight in Paul George.
For sure.
You depend on who you talk to. He's in, MVP conversations. He had 29 and 6 and 4 tonight, 12 of 25 from the field, hit 3 threes, ended Dwight Powell's career. He
did. And I saw some people saying that Paul George pushed off with his left arm. He did not. He just had his arm like next to him. And man, it
was a nasty dunk. I mean,
nothing was restricting Paul George from getting to the basket. Like it was almost as if no one was in front of him. It was bad.
Yeah, and I mean that will probably be the best thing that he does this year besides put it on a sweatshirt, and I'm sure he'll enjoy.
Oh, I'm sure he'll put it on a sweatshirt for
I'm
sure.
sure he'll enjoy
That'll
doing that.
happen on a sweatshirt. All right, coming up, let's get into some other notes around this game. There's a couple more things I want to point out. We have to talk about Maxi Kleber coming back, Frank Ntilikina, what happened to him. We'll get into that. And then we'll, of course, talk about Dirk Nowitzki, his retirement ceremony. Probably spend a couple more minutes breaking that down at the end. So we want to tell you everything that's coming up with that, what you can expect and everything. So we'll talk about all that coming up. But before we do, let me tell you about one of our favorite things, Built Bar. Thanksgiving is coming up, and you know you're just going to want to eat all the time. You know you're just going to want to eat everything in sight. And so sometimes, so I'm saying just sometimes, when you want to eat something, get a Built Bar instead. Get a Built Bar instead as a snack. That is absolutely what you need. The coconut brownie chunk is incredible. We warned you that they were going to be gone, and they're gone now. You can't get them on the website anymore. So listen to us when we say, go get these flavors right now because they won't be there anymore. Right now, still have the mint brownie. That one's a great flavor. 130 calories, 17 grams of protein, 4 grams of sugar in a bar covered in 100% chocolate. They're absolutely great. You can also check out the protein balls if you are dairy-free, grain-free, or gluten-free. If you need to check out those, go check out those as well. Use the promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off your entire order, no matter what you get at built.com. Mystery flavor, still have the pumpkin flavor, all kinds of stuff at built.com. Promo code LOCKED15. All right, Isaac Harris, let's get into some more about this game. A couple more notes, and then we'll get over to talking about Dirk Nowitzki, his retirement ceremony, and all that. Tim Hardaway Jr. was bad. I mean, I know we mentioned this before, but man, he has just been even more inconsistent than normal this season. He was 2 of 12 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3, and some of his shots just weren't even close. It was just a real off night for Tim Hardaway Jr. The Mavericks just don't win games like that normally even when Luka's playing when Tim's off that bad. But when they don't have Luka, it is glaring when Tim is not good and not having a good night.
Yeah, he's just not shooting the ball the best this season so far. I mean, after this game, his stats are 40% from the field. He's shooting 34% from 35% from 3 right now.
He's shooting decently well until this stretch.
Yeah, well, last year, I mean, he hovered around that 40% 3-point mark, and they need him to be that type of guy. And I mean, same thing goes for Reggie Bullock. I mean, Reggie Bullock just has not been good so far. And it's like, ever since, you caused a whatever, I just want to blame Nick for that. No, actually, Reggie hit some threes that very next game because we were in the press box together.
He did hit threes that next game and then never did ever again. I think he's gone 0 for 85. No, I'm just kidding.
But I mean, Reggie Bullock shooting 29% from 3 right now. So it's like,
won't get it done.
No, it's not. So they just got to shoot the ball better. I don't think it's like bad looks. I think they are getting some good looks on threes, but they're just not going down right now.
I thought Bullock's looks in this game were rushed, though. There's a lot of them that they were.
He had a corner one.
He wasn't just missing wide open looks in this game. It's just in his defense. But Jalen Brunson stepping in for Luka, 20 points, 8 assists in this game, 3 steals. He was pretty good late. He distributed late, which I thought was good. A change from the game on Friday. Maxi Kleber, first game back, played 20 minutes, 5 points, hit a 3, only 1 of 5 from 3. 4 rebounds for him, a block. The defense, man, when it was him and Willie Cauley-Stein in there's times Willie just got beat, and Maxi was there to clean it up, and that's where they really missed Maxi, I thought.
Yeah, I love seeing Maxi out there. I mean, I think his minutes will just ramp up from here.
I think they may chill out with his minutes. I know that they played him 20 minutes in his first game back, but you can't lose that guy this season.
No, yeah, and I think that's, why you don't see Maxi playing, 35 minutes a night as a starter sometimes. I think, that has to be considered. I mean, even before he, came over to the States, for that first training camp, that was one of the little red flags on him, when you first started monitoring him and stuff. He had some injury history, overseas before he came here. So it's definitely something you have to keep in mind. And, Maxi's not, 23, 24. He's right around that 30 mark, I think. He's right around 30.
Frank Ntilikina went out in the second half. He played a lot of the first half, went out in the second half with a right calf injury. And so that is notable as well. The Mavericks are going to be without him. And so that made the offense look even worse. He was only
Jason Kidd made a point to say he's not a doctor. And
he said that now 4 games. I think like 4 games in a row he said that he's not a doctor.
But Frank Ntilikina is a basketball player, so he will get checked out, and I'm sure we'll get an update sometime tomorrow.
Yeah, so that was a big loss for the Mavericks. And any other thoughts from this game?
Negative. Willie Cauley-Stein played 9 minutes and 32 seconds.
This was maybe his best game of the season, and that maybe is saying something. He had 2 turnovers in a row that were just absolutely dreadful.
He had a pull up like Carmelo jumper long two that
he made. He made both of his shots. He had 2 steals too.
Yeah, that's great. I'll see it on Instagram later.
All right, let's talk about the big German. Let's talk about one of our favorite people.
What day it is?
Guess what day it is?
It's January 5th against the Warriors. The Dallas Mavericks will retire Dirk Nowitzki's number. Adam Silver will be in attendance. It's going to be an awesome night. It's going to be one of those nights. I know that if you're listening to this, you already know all this stuff and you know that you want to be there. You've probably looked for tickets already. You've probably already got denied. If you were me, the Mavericks put together this first 41 pack or a Mavs 41 pack or something like that where you buy tickets and then you can get. I just went in line just to see what it was like. I opened it on Friday, pretty much right after they had opened it. I was 3,293rd in line to get these tickets, which means that there was enough people inside the ticket thing to fill up every seat. And then there was a waiting list after that of 3,000 plus people. So a bunch of people are going to try to get into this game. The tickets are already astronomically ridiculous price-wise. But this is going to be a really big night.
Oh, massive. I mean, you think about biggest nights in, franchise history. This is going to be, one of them. And best player in franchise history, in the press release, they, said so many different things about his stats. The only player to play 21 seasons with a franchise. Like, Adam Silver's going to be there. Shocking, but Adam Silver does not.
Let's go!
Adam Silver does not go to every jersey retirement. So
he did not go to Derek Harper's.
Probably not.
No, he did not. We were both there. He was not there.
What if he was just hanging out? He was at like the Pizza Hut.
I don't know. I looked around enough. I don't think I saw him.
But no, I mean, yeah, if you can be there, gosh, you got to be there. I think my favorite thing that they announced for some of the details is they said fans who will arrive early will be able to walk the concourse like a museum with special showcase for Nowitzki's personal collection, including all-star and championship rings, jerseys, shoes, and memorabilia from his history with the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, that's almost worth the ticket alone right there. So I'll be super excited for that. And the timing of it too. Like a lot of jersey retirements happen at halftime, and it's just kind of like a prolonged halftime and stuff. This is going to be after. So they better beat the Warriors.
Right.
But no, I think it'll be a fun celebration for people to stick around, and it's going to be a very special night.
Yeah, fans in attendance will receive Dirk Nowitzki memorabilia, including a special edition NFT. If you want to get your NFT on,
how do I even? I'm just going to sound really old, but I'm like, how do I even have an NFT?
Do you have to bring a thumb drive and they put it on there for you?
Can I frame an NFT?
They should have something where you can just type in your NFT and it plays on a screen or something. Everybody can play theirs. You get commemorative tickets, rally towel, fan clappers. There will be exclusive Nowitzki gear there as well. It's going to be absolutely great to be there. Fans will, there's all kinds of stuff. It's going to happen after the game. Mark Cuban had a quote that said, "Dirk is everything to the Mavs. First, 41-21-1, and now lifting his jersey to the rafters. It is a special day for the Mavs and Mavs fans around the world. This is a thing we will celebrate with you. We will continue to do episodes for sure, breaking that down. I got to ask the question, though, now that we're on the topic. Is it a mistake to put it against the Warriors? As soon as Mark Stein, reported this, I said, if anyone wears a We Believe Warriors shirt to the AAC, you have to fight them on spot. Like we do not normally advocate violence, but if someone wears a We Believe Warriors shirt to that game, and usually there's a ton of Warriors fans at these games, at Mavs Warriors games, a ton of Steph Curry stuff. There's just a ton of Warriors fans, but if anyone wears a We Believe, you have to fight them.
The ultimate petty move is coming though. If the Warriors win, they're gonna like their Twitter account is gonna tweet out, and it's just gonna be like, "We believed." and with like the final score, just to throw it out there of like, hey, we know it's Dirk's night, but we want to remind you too of the We Believe year. But I mean,
I would hope that every single one of us would just go ratio the mess out of that account.
I do think it's kind of cool that, Steph and them will be there. I wonder, will they stick around on the bench and stuff afterwards? Since, Steph and them have a lot of respect for Dirk. I think that would be really cool. Steve Kerr and those guys, but
they recruited him. They wanted him on the team that one year, remember?
Yeah, and future Maverick Draymond Green, will he stick around and watch? But no, I think it's more of a schedule thing for everybody involved, and it just that was the date that worked out.
Klay Thompson may be playing at that point. We got a report on Sunday that he may be coming back around Christmas. He got cleared for like full contact practice and all that. So that could be interesting. But this Warriors team could be really good by the time the Mavericks play them then.
Oh, I mean, yeah, they're really good.
They're really good now. Yeah.
Like the best team in the league right now. So it should be fun. Special night. Looking forward to it. Will I get a little emotional? Well, the last time I think I got emotional at a game or at a sporting event was Dirk. So it was Dirk's last game. So we'll see. Might get a little allergy season on January 5th.
It's going to be an absolutely big night. Again, that's January 5th against the Warriors. It's going to be a massive game afterwards. They'll have all kinds of stuff. I'm sure you'll be able to watch it on Bally. We'll be posting stuff all over the place. I'm sure you can follow all the reporters for that, for all the cool stuff. And there you go. Guys, we will be back tomorrow previewing and talking about hopefully Luka Doncic coming back against the Clippers in this last game of the home stretch. And we'll be breaking that all down. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts with a question. We will answer the question. And also, thanks for making Locked On Mavs your first listen every single day. We will be back tomorrow. Make sure you listen to Locked On Bets. Make that your second listen today. Your daily one-stop shop for all your gambling needs, hosted by your boy Q with expert analysis and insight from Lee Sterling. Guys, thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.
Boom!